Hey guys, welcome back to the GIZGUIDE channel. This is Neil, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my experience with the new MSI GP66 Leopard gaming laptop here over on my right side. It is a gaming laptop from MSI with a massive 15.6-inch IPS display with 1920 by 1080p resolution and 14.4 Hz refresh rate. Inside is the Intel Core i7-10870H with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060 with 6GB of GDDR6 RAM. It has 16GB of RAM built in and 1TB of NVMe storage. Both are upgradable. It's powered by a 65Wh battery and it is running on Windows 10 right out of the box. And it's now available in the Philippines for only 119,925 pesos. So let's begin with the unboxing. Okay guys, let's get into the unboxing. So as you can see here, we have the black box over here. Inside it is the laptop and all of the accessories included. So let's begin with the accessories that are included. Of course, we have the 230-watt power brick along with the cable. This has a 3-prong. As you can see here, we have that. And then of course, we have documents. We have here the F3 hotkey recovery, the 2-year warranty, and then the quick start guide. Aside from that, we also get the laptop that's over on my right side over here, your left, and that is basically what's inside the box. Now when you open it, you will see the laptop itself. It'll be wrapped in a recyclable bag, and then beside is another inner box that contains all the power cords. And that is it. Let's move on to the build and design. Okay guys, I want to talk about the hardware and design of the MSI GP66. As you can see here, you can pretty much hold it in one hand. I'll plug it right now. As you can see here, it's a 15.6-inch laptop, but I can very much carry it on my hand. I can put it on a laptop and I can carry it. Although after a while it may get really heavy. So, and you also have to bring the power brick with you. It's 230-watt power brick, so it's not the smallest power brick you'll be bringing around with you. Now over here, it's mainly made out of aluminum and then of course high quality polycarbonate, so it's both sturdy and lightweight somewhat for a 15.6-inch laptop. It's because of the aluminum panel, there's very little flex. As you can see here, if we do the flex test, there's very little flex going on here because of the aluminum panel. But the only thing I don't like about the aluminum here is that it's a very much prone to fingerprint smudges. As you can see here, I've tried to wipe it down, but some of the smudges retain themselves. I do like that MSI has toned down the gamer design. It's still there, but it's not as brazen as the older models from their older lines. And of course, there's this MSI Dragon logo over here. It shines, but very subtle, so it just has to be hit by the right amount of light, the right angle for it to shine, which is nice. Doesn't scream gamery right there. So over here on the front side, as you can see here, let's try the one finger test. As you can see, it works. And then the hinge is very sturdy as well. It doesn't feel like it will bend or flex in an unwanted way. And then of course, over here at the back, we have the vents, exhaust vents, and we also have here a USB-C port, an Ethernet port, an HDMI port, and then of course the power in. MSI uses a proprietary power in jack, so it's shaped like a USB, but not exactly. And then of course here on this side we have more exhaust, and then we have a USB type A, and then of course a Kensington lock, and then of course the audio combo jack. On the other side we have a USB type A's, and of course the exhaust port as well. Now over here on the bottom, as you can see here, we have a lot of intake vents, and you can see the copper heat pipes from them. There we also have some rubber feet over here to raise the laptop from the table. And then of course we have all the screws, and they're pretty common. This is the normal cross type screws, so you can very much open this up if you wanted to. And as I said earlier, the RAM and the storage is upgradable, so you can pretty much add it right away if you wanted. Now, let's get inside. As you can see here, this is the 15.6-inch IPS display, 1920 by 1080, and then of course we have on top the webcam. It's 720p webcam. It's pretty much what you would expect from a gaming focused laptop quality in terms of webcam. It's not the sharpest one. In very low light, it's very grainy, and it can work for quick zoom calls. But if you wanted to have a high quality stream, for example, you want to stream your gameplay and you wanted to show yourself, I wouldn't use the webcam of this thing. It can work if you wanted to, but if you wanted a better looking one, I'd look elsewhere. Of course, this is the screen. It's not a touch screen, but it is 14.4 Hz, and it's actually pretty bright. It gets up to 350 nits, more or less. And the viewing angles is pretty nice. As you can see here, if you move it to extreme angles, it still retains most of the color. There's not much change there. And then below it, the screen itself is the MSI logo. It's actually pretty hidden. The light has to hit it the right way for it to shine, because most of this bottom bezel here is kind of a matte finish, while the MSI logo is in a glossy finish, so the light has to hit it properly. Now below that is this keyboard. It's the standard island style chiclet keys that's actually in a very tight manner. The spacing in between keys is a little bit too tight for my liking, but what I like about this keyboard is that it has enough travel for my taste. But some people who prefer mechanical keyboard may find that this is somewhat lacking in terms of travel. Also, when it bottoms out, there's a short mushy feel to it. It's not as mushy as other gaming laptops I've tried, but as you can see here, the sound is very, there's a thought at the end of it. It just dies. The sound just dies. But I learned to like it while I was using it for over the week. What I found awkward was the placement of the function key over here, but that's my only complaint about the keyboard over here. The function is placed here, and I sometimes find it hard because I usually use my left hand to press function and then the other combination keys over here. So it was kind of a bit of a learning curve for me. But eventually I got used to it, but I still wish that it was placed on the other side of the keyboard. Another great thing about this keyboard is that it's individually lit, meaning each key can be customized to light up at a different color. There are a lot of RGB patterns that can happen. There's waves and stuff like that. You can explore more if you go into the MSI app. Below it is, of course, the multi-gesture trackpad. It has Windows Precision drivers, so you'd get what you'd expect from that kind of trackpad. Multi-gesture has support, and it's very accurate and very responsive. As you can see here, the clickiness of here makes a good sound. I like it, and you can mostly click it up until the halfway point of the trackpad, which is nice, and it doesn't confuse me in any way. Next up, of course, is the overall weight to it. Now, as I said earlier, this is decently weighed for a gaming laptop at 15 inches. But after a while, as I said earlier, you may need to be wary because you'll be carrying this along with the 230 watts the 230 watt power brick with you everywhere. So I recommend getting a backpack for it. Sometimes MSI actually gives out backpacks along with their purchases, so you may watch out for those things. Okay guys, let's now get into the meat of the review. We're going to look at the performance in synthetic benchmarks and of course in actual gameplay. So to recap, we have an Intel Core 10870H with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060, NVMe SSD, and then of course 16 gigabytes of RAM. Now in our synthetic benchmarks over here, I'll pull up the laptop, we put it into a graph that we will flash up for you guys. So in 3D Mark, in TimeSpy, we got 4,157, and in Firestrike Ultra, we get 5,409. These two are they test for the GPU and the GPU's workload capabilities and 3D rendering. Up next is Cinebench R20 and R23. Now in R20 we got 3,238, in R23 single core we got 1,152, and the multi-core we got 9,074. Up next is Geekbench. In the single core we got 1,146, and then in the multi-core we got 7,319. For the PC mark, this one tests for the overall capabilities of the PC. We got 4,891, and for the GPU, we have Unigine Heaven 4.0 at 1080p Extreme. We got a score of 2,401. Up next, of course, is the benchmarks of our games, and we ran it at 1080p to make sure that we're going to be using the screen. We have a 14.4 Hertz screen, and we want to be able to push 144 frames per second. And we're happy to say that in Rainbow Six Siege we're getting over 278 frames per second in the benchmark. So that's in Ultra 1080p. We got 278 frames. We also tried Horizon Zero Dawn. We're getting around 67 frames per second. For Red Dead Redemption 2 at its highest graphics setting, that's 63. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, we get 87. For Metro Exodus with RTX on and DLSS, we get 58 frames per second. And if we turn off RTX for Metro Exodus, we're getting around 63 frames per second in Ultra. Now we also played Cyberpunk on this thing. We were able to get up to ray tracing medium, and we're getting around 40 to 60 frames per second depending on how busy the screen is. And from our experience, we would be playing long hours of gaming here, around 3 hours to 4 hours, sometimes up to 6. And we would know it is consistent that this laptop can maintain good temperatures across those gaming sessions. We would be comfortable with the warmth of the temperatures up until the 3rd or 4th hour. We would feel the warmth on the keyboard area after around the 4th hour. At one point, after the 5th hour of playing Metro, Metro itself crashed, but the computer didn't crash. So we could still run Windows, but Metro itself crashed. But that was only one time. It didn't happen again. So, and the temperatures were around in the mid-70s, which is still okay. Overall, I think the 6 heat pipes in this thing was able to give us a longer playing session than most gaming laptops that's playing on Ultra, and that's on Ultra the whole time. So I guess the Leopard over here can handle pushing the best performance you can ever get while maintaining temperatures for a long period of time. And this is one of the most powerful laptops I've ever encountered in my time reviewing laptops, and I'm very happy to be able to share it with you. The only gripe I have with the performance of this thing is that because of its power and all the performance it can push, it takes a toll on the battery. The battery would only last 2 to 3 hours for us with normal browsing and productivity. If I'm playing a game, it's only an hour to 2 hours maximum. So if you want one of the most powerful laptop right now, this is the laptop that you want. But be sure that you're okay with bringing a power brick everywhere with you. So that's in summary. I love the design of the GP66 because it's a toned down gaming aesthetic. I love the fact that they're using aluminum and polycarbonate because it lessens the weight while giving it a sturdy build. I mean, I tried flexing the keyboard, I tried flexing the monitor. It would not give. It's just enough weight to be light enough to be in a backpack to carry around with you. Longer days will be heavier, but that's standard. And the performance is one of the most powerful laptops we've ever handled, and a good cooling system to match. The only gripe we have with this thing is the battery life and the lack of a micro or an SD card slot, and of course the 720p webcam. It's not the best out there, but most gaming laptops don't have a good webcam anyway. So most of them are nitpick. No micro SD card, no SD card slot. 720p cam could be better. Overall, my only true gripe is the battery life. But you're not buying a gaming laptop for its battery life, do you? And for $119,995, I think this is much of a deal because It's giving you that performance in a good form factor while giving you as much performance as possible. So we highly recommend the GP66 Leopard from MSI. And if you are in the market for it, I hope you will enjoy the laptop as much as we did. This has been Neil from GIZGUIDE.com. I hope you enjoyed our review. I want to thank you all for watching. If you want to know more about tech, news, and if you want to ask us questions, you can reach us at GIZGUIDE.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at GIZGUIDEPH. This has been Neil, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.